So, he said, "You think I'm crazy? Yeah, halfway across, you're just gonna turn it off."
A new life begins!
All right, it is Batman Day,
Mhm.
celebrated by the Joker. Uh, so yeah, we just got back from the hall. Had to
Mhm.
drop some Timmy swag off. See if anybody picked that up, and we've been too irregular for anybody to really start following, but
Yeah.
we'll get there. We're just gonna keep at it.
Consistency, what's that?
Yeah, I know. But it's Batman Day, one of our favorite days of the year.
Mhm.
Uh, so we went to the hall. We got our little freebies. I know I brought my stuff down. Yes, you have to listen to my bag rustle a little bit. So they had the Long Halloween #1 special edition for
Guessing
for
that's
Batman Day. That should be the original. It's not the one that is going on now.
it is the original because
Yeah.
it has Tim Sale on it. This is still the dumbest title you could give a series. Batman, The Long Halloween.
Oh, the last
Oh man,
Halloween.
The Last Halloween.
Yeah, yeah.
And then in 10 years they'll do another series called Batman, The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween,
Really, this time we mean it.
the final Halloween.
Yeah. So, picked up what we went to go get. Lots of goodies. Lots of looking for my shiny. So the hall was the winner of Image Retailer of the Year,
Mm-hmm.
and they chose for their exclusive cover, "The Moon is Following Us." So we definitely had to grab that one. One of the most expensive new releases.
A crisp 49,
Yeah,
$50 actually, plain 50, no 49.99.
yeah, yeah. Plain old $50 brand new release. I know, not a DC thing, not a Batman thing, but that was definitely really cool for us.
I
Uh,
actually specifically called them to reserve our copies
yes, you did.
because I didn't know if we would actually be able to find them.
We usually are in when the hall does the store exclusive covers.
I found an account that's already selling it for $160 and $8 shipping.
Okay.
I
Um,
thought you would.
that's quick. I mean, they still got them at the shop.
Yeah.
So, um,
If you
yeah,
are
we jump in on any of the hall's exclusive covers.
most of the time, I don't always.
We have most of them. I think I'm missing one. It was probably during the summer of hell for me. Um, I decided to take two classes over summer session, and they both ended up being in the same summer session.
Did you not get the Joker one?
Yeah, it's in there.
Okay.
So yeah, if you have not gone to your local shop yet, they do have a Joker World. They have the Long Halloween.
There's a hardcover coming out, I believe. So it's, I believe, kind of the same thing as that Batman the World one.
They also have the Last Halloween issue 0. I did not realize that was a Batman Day thing. I subbed to Last Halloween. I wasn't sure if that included 0 or not because what was on the FOC was
Mm-hmm.
issue #1. All things Batman today. I
Mm-hmm.
know DC is doing a lot. If you are, in the Warner Brothers studio, um, you can take tours and
Mm-hmm.
they're showing films and they have all that stuff up online if you want to take a look at it. We are nowhere near there. Unfortunately, that is in California. We're still trying to break Aaron Sparrow free from his imprisonment out there. There's different ways you can celebrate the day,
Mm-hmm.
and it's one of those we almost always attend. Trying to think if we've missed one. So
Maybe 21.
it's usually my favorite time to go to the hall.
Mm-hmm.
They do all their sales and specials like they do for every event, uh, but it's not. like Free Comic Book Day,
Hmm.
where it's just packed.
I don't think Batman Day is as marketed as Free Comic Book Day. I think it's just because like Free Comic Book Day is easy to remember because it's the first Saturday of May.
It's my favorite day to
Hmm.
go to the hall for an event because you can take the time to look through stuff. I picked up some nice old Usagi.
It has nothing to do with
It
Batman.
has nothing to do with Batman, um, but the Batman issues that I need for my Rebirth run, they don't have in the boxes right now. I did look.
I perused some boxes. I was trying to look for Batman's issues 137 to 148.
Okay. I know the Penguin just started,
Hmm.
so maybe some people are watching that to celebrate.
You still need to watch the Batman.
I'm catching up on so much stuff from the past 3 years. It's not funny. Eventually, I'll get completely caught up.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's you know, school kind of took precedence. I wanted my ring. Uh, Anybody that's a Clemson alumni, they will understand that statement. I'd love to see in the comments what, anybody is doing for Batman Day or if it's a shock to you that it's Batman Day.
There is an artist, I think, or a writer, but somebody was like, "Oh, it's Batman Day already." Shout out to Superman, who can the only one who can put up with him.
Okay, that's pretty good. This is, one of the days for comic geeks, especially DC fans,
Hmm.
to celebrate. We both wore Batman shirts
Hmm.
today. I wore my Harley Joker shirt.
I have I think it's the Burton logo.
Yes, yes, it is. So we'll start with the current Batman. What's going on in the current run? Since they're in the middle of Absolute Power right now,
Hmm.
which I gotta get caught up on, but um, I didn't think the Batman issues that are tie-ins were really all that important to Absolute Power.
I'm sure they will be more important towards the when issue 4 comes out and everything's officially tied together.
I just didn't feel like it was like Green Lantern, the Green Lantern tie-ins and the Task Force 7.
Hmm.
Um, those two tie-ins, I feel really relate to the event and the story being told in the event. I don't get that same feeling from the Batman tie-ins.
I wouldn't be shocked if having tie-ins with Batman was such a last-minute addition that Zdarsky just kind of had to come up with two stories.
Yeah, it honestly, I mean, DC could have done Absolute Power, the core issues, and the
Hmm.
Task Force 7 issues, and I think the event would have been fun.
I think the Green Arrow ones would probably still have to be in there just because of what was happening with him. What DC could have done was make the Superman tie-ins Absolute Power Superman as its own three miniseries instead of
Instead of tying it in separately like they
yeah.
did. Yeah, and I mean, I would have been okay if they'd done, Absolute Power Batman, Absolute Power Superman,
Hmm.
Absolute Power Wonder Woman.
Knowing DC, they would have put everything on hold again.
And I really wish they'd not do that. They could have just let the main lines go with their stories
Hmm.
that they're in and still done the event.
Hmm.
Not really necessarily needed them to tie in. I get it. You want your main lines to tie into the event, so you
Hmm.
you don't want them on their own story arc at the time. But as an event,
Hmm.
I just feel like the core issues and the Task Force 7 issues
Hmm.
would have made the event perfectly fine.
Because the Superman ones have just kind of been okay. Wonder Woman is a weird one because it doesn't follow a normal arc. It's every issue is its own singular story.
Yeah, talking about that, and especially what we talked about in episode 4
Mm-hmm.
with that, it just seems crazy. Like it's not a true story arc. It just keeps coming in and out of the story arc.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel like Absolute Power, the event, interrupted
Mm-hmm.
what King was doing because King interrupted what King was doing. When you tie into the main series, the mainline
Mm-hmm.
story, I think that tie-in should progress the story in some
Mm-hmm.
way, even if it's, hey, we're going to rehash what you've already read, but it's going to be from the perspective of this character.
Yeah.
That's fine. Um,
I mean, Superman's the only one that does that because of what happened in House of Brainiac. Lex is still there, and they briefly bring up the fact that he has no memory, but other than that,
yeah, and I feel like this is more a Green Arrow, Green Lantern event than it is anything else.
mm-hmm.
I know you bring Batman into it with the Amazos. I just,
Well, I think it's because those are the two that had the mistakes. Because Green Lantern is talking about the whole like space UN thing.
they're right. No, and I get that, but that's just it's that's the way I view the event. It
Mm-hmm.
seems to me it's more a Green Lantern, Green Arrow event
Mm-hmm.
than it is Batman, Superman.
Yeah.
Um, which I don't have any kind of problem with. I don't think DC has to do everything and under the sun solely for the benefit of the Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but at the same time, I think you could have honestly left those out, brought the characters in,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe the main line could mention that storyline within its story arc or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, just to maintain continuity.
Yeah.
But I don't think you need to draw the entire issue into it,
Mm-hmm.
or 3 issues into it, whatever. I just think that it's a little bit of overkill with all of the tie-ins.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, we're going to continue on with the Batman discussions.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about some of our favorite moments in comics and in movies, and TV. But then we're going to move that over to Patreon and Timmy's site. If you enjoy what we're doing as we take the perspective of comics and the comic
Mm-hmm.
industry from 2 different generations
Mm-hmm.
and our love of the characters,
Come join us on Patreon. The link is in the description below.
or you can come and join us on longboxofdoom.com. Come join Timmy's entourage as we journey to Ragnarok.